Hi, Mark Lowe in Tokyo. This is a kind of spontaneous talk. A lot of my talks are like this. This came up in my feed. I don't know who the author is. I did not write it. This is not politics. I'm not talking about Iran or Trump or Epstein files, okay? But this is about, well, let me read it. This comes from Reddit. Again, I don't know who posted originally, and it came up in my feed on Facebook. And I read it, and it just hit me in a way that I thought, I've got to say something about this. I posted it to my social media feeds, but I want to read it and comment on it. And this is what this person says. Here's my unfiltered hot take. We are living through the largest scale psychological warfare operation in human history, and it's not being conducted by any single government or corporation. It's being conducted by our own social systems against basic human emotional needs. And the casualty count is so massive that we've normalized mass emotional death as, quote, adulting. Okay, that's the first paragraph. Every single institution we've built, schools, workplaces, healthcare, dating, social media, even fucking therapy, that's how it's written, not my word, although I like that word and use it a lot, has become a factory for producing emotionally lobotomized humans who can perform productivity but can't access their own inner experience without having a panic attack. We've created a civilization that requires you to be emotionally dead to participate in it. And then we act shocked when people either break completely or retreat into AI relationships because at least the machines won't punish them for having feelings. The therapy industrial complex is particularly fucking insidious because it has convinced people that their natural responses to an insane world are pathological. Someone's depressed because they're trapped in a meaningless job in a society that offers no authentic connection. Let's give them SSRIs, antidepressants, and teach them breathing exercises. Deepak Chopra, anyone? Instead of acknowledging that maybe, just maybe, depression might be a rational response to irrational circumstances. Someone's anxious because they can feel the existential void where community used to be. Let's call it generalized anxiety disorder. Instead of recognizing that their nervous system is correctly identifying that something fundamental is missing. I'm not making any comments on this till I get to the end. I'm just reading it. And don't even get me started on how we've gamified human connection through dating apps that literally train people to treat each other like products in a catalog, while simultaneously wondering why seemingly nobody can form deep, meaningful relationships anymore. We took the most sacred human activity, finding your people, and turned it into a dopamine harvesting slot machine designed to keep people perpetually searching and almost never actually connecting. The most fucked up part is how we've convinced people that the solution to systemic emotional abandonment is individual optimization. Can't find meaningful connection? You must need to work on yourself more in some vague fashion. Feeling existential despair about the state of the world? Have you tried shallow gratitude journaling? Lonely because society has dismantled most forms of community? Come to Tokyo, Maybe you need to put yourself out there more, I guess. It's gaslighting on a civilizational scale. We've built systems that largely prevent human flourishing and then blame individuals for not thriving within them. It's like poisoning someone's water supply and then selling them detox supplements, which is basically what's happening in other ways as well. But don't get me going on that yet. Let me finish reading first. And the people who see through this shit, I'm going to repeat this one. And the people who see through this shit and try to talk about it openly, they get labeled as schizo, too intense, or unemployable. Fortunately, I don't have that last problem, at least not yet, because their emotional honesty threatens the whole house of cards. We've made emotional authenticity a cause of social ostracization, or just, no wonder people are having breakdowns. No wonder mental health crisis rates are skyrocketing. No wonder birth rates are plummeting. And marriage rates and the rest. And even long-term relationships. I said I wasn't going to comment. I'm almost at the end. We've created a civilization that is hostile to human emotional needs. And we are surprised that humans are struggling to survive in it. The real miracle isn't that some people are falling apart. It's that anyone is managing to stay sane at all. I couldn't have said it better myself. I've been blabbing about all this stuff for years on this page from this room alone with my smartphone, which, by the way, I never have ever used AI, ChatGPT. People are now deleting it en masse because they've realized this shit is fucking, spying on us and lying, and they're using it for killing in Gaza and the whole fucking thing. But I don't want to talk politics. Today, it's all interconnected. It's all related. This is it. Quick thing and then shutting it off. I'm not going to talk and talk. I mainly wanted to share this. It's spot on. So I'll post this later. Last night is a totally separate thing. I did music. I went to a local place called the Lighthouse, and I did an open mic because I'm usually just, here alone. And I have a couple live shows. Mostly I can't do, as I've talked on this page, because I'm too busy shuttling halfway across Tokyo a different day every week to another school to teach students who can't concentrate on reading and the whole thing. And I did my set and I did my thing, and I'll post that later. And afterwards, toward the end of the night, I had a conversation with one person who we were speaking in Japanese, and I was just being dead honest about the way I saw things in terms of the way that people make these kinds of, like us, them distinctions. We were talking about religion and this, that. It just came up, and I just kind of bluntly stated what I always do, because that's me. Prior to that, I was talking to some other people from other places and couldn't really have a conversation, because if I mentioned something, it was like, they were off on another. My last talk was about this, how I can't even connect with people because we're like living in two different worlds. So I don't even bother anymore. And that's why I don't hang out much. But when after I said what I said to this woman, she was listening intently and she said, "Thank you for your honesty. Most people don't say what you just said, can't put it into words, and don't say it. And, thank you for, saying it," kind of thing. And I said, should be obvious, isn't it? But it's not, in terms of, the way that we, shut others out who are different, or, that we're all part of the same breed. And I was talking about how I don't like it when people say, in Japan, it's "Where are you from?" right? And most people assume I'm from Europe, because especially if I'm speaking Japanese, I don't come across as American, the way I dress, the way I talk. Even in English, I was talking to a guy from the UK. He said, "Are you from Italy?" I said, "No." People ask me, Italy, France. He was from UK. And if I say I was born and raised in America, I usually follow it quickly with, in Japanese, "igaini," or, you might not have thought that kind of thing. And some people will say, "Well, yeah, you seem European." And others will say, "Oh, no," because they think they're going to offend me. And I say, well, the fact is, Americans all came from somewhere else, unless you're Native American and you were pushed off your land by the Europeans into camps, which is what America's founded on, which is what's happening now. Again, with ICE and what's happening under Trump and MAGA and the fascists in America. And again, I said I was going to talk politics. But I said, I have Eastern European blood. And but I said, that's another distinction. I'm this, I'm that. So when people ask me, "Where are you from?" I like to say, "Chikyujin." I used to say Uchujin, which means alien, to joke and people laugh. I'm from Mars. But I usually say Chikyujin, which just means an earthling or a human. Because we're all, at base, human. Doesn't matter whether you're from, your skin color, your faith, your culture. We have problems understanding one another, and we do anyway. But going back to this, the human connection, the thing that we've been so dehumanized and so isolated from one another and our communities and everything. And it's pathologized. And then it's your problem, man. And then when the rhetoric comes, everyone's all zombified, brainwashed, exhausted from working their jobs and trying to pay the bills. And the whole thing that when you have the other, I'm talking the politics and fascism. It comes out because it's all interconnected, in AI and disinformation. The whole fucking thing is a big fucking lie. And you speak out and, you're here, you go see the psychiatrist, man. Get a grip. What's your problem? What's wrong? Are you okay? And the people who say, "Are you okay?" are usually totally fucked up. They're just repressing it. Maybe they're going home and they're beating their partners or spouses or something. I don't know. It's messed up, man. I take it out in my music and in my art and in these talks. I don't go around pushing people around or trying to dominate or telling them they're wrong. And if I say wake up here or on Facebook or wherever the hell I write, that's not an ego superiority. It's wake up collectively or we're fucked, because we're sleeping through this, as this person wrote, social experiment, which is exactly what it is. And I think people are going to start waking up to it soon, because if they haven't already, or they're going to go to sleep and be wiped out, because we may all be wiped out. Yeah. Go back to David Bowie's Leon. Ramona A. Stone is a techno-fascist who puts a brain chip, a brain patch in the victim's head and gives her interest drugs and sits her in front of a TV set watching propaganda videos. Sound familiar? Have a nice day. I'm going to focus on creativity and music, which is what I always do. There is no community in Tokyo. I go out from time to time to see people to stop from going completely stir crazy. But there's no real community here. You meet people, you have a couple drinks, you exchange a few words, you might listen to music or make music together, and then it's bye-bye. That's Tokyo. There's no community here. At least not for me. There hasn't been in 7 years. So this resonates, man. And it resonates with the way I was brought up, and it resonates with the things I was told. School, family, everybody. And that's why J. Krishnamurti makes sense, what he says. Don't follow anything. Don't join anything. Don't believe people who tell you this, that, and the other. Listen to yourself, your intuition, and sit with yourself. That's the only solution to this mess. Because if we all sit with ourselves and reconnect, the world will be a different place. There won't be Donald Trump and Sam Altman, these crazies running the fucking world anymore, maybe. All right. That's it. Thanks.